Okay, we are going to start MCQs questions of topic motion. So in the first question, what we have, a cannonball is dropped from a three-story building. Which row of a table correctly describe both the speed and acceleration of the cannonball as it falls? You can ignore the air resistance for the question. So the condition is we have to ignore the air resistance and the object is falling freely. We have to comment on speed and acceleration. So it's a case of free fall motion, in absence of air resistance. Okay, let's consider a cannonball that is falling freely under the action of gravity. So the only acting force is the weight. Weight is basically it's a force of gravity, and there is no air resistance in the opposite direction. Okay, so there is only one force, that is force of gravity. So this will produce acceleration. So acceleration due to gravity is always constant in that case when there is no air resistance, and its value is g is equals to 9.81 meter per second square. And as it is accelerating body, its speed will be increasing. Okay, so it's constant acceleration and increasing speed. It's option B. Okay, question number 2. The graph shows the motion of a motorbike. What is the distance traveled by the motorbike while it is moving at a constant speed? Okay, so first of all, you have to identify that this graph is a speed time graph. So its y-axis is representing a speed, and we have to look for a constant speed. So if you look from the start of the journey, the speed was 0 and it is increasing with time. Their speed is at this point, it's 5. And if you move forward, its speed at this time, it's 10. Then if you move further forward at 20 seconds, speed is 15. But for this time period, the speed is constant. So for that constant duration, when the speed is constant, we have to find the distance travel. So distance travel by object in speed time graph is basically area under the graph, area under the curve or graph. Okay, so for this graph we have to find the area under it. Okay, it's starting from this point and ending at this point. So basically it's from 30 to 20, it is 10 is the base of this rectangle, and for this 15 is the height. Okay, so area of rectangle is equals to base into height. Base is 10, height is 15. That will give you 150. So this area is equals to distance, it's 150 meter. It's option A. Question number 3. A helicopter flies the route shown below. It stops at point I for 30 minutes and to pick some cargo. The total time the helicopter take between taking off from H and landing at L is 4 hours. Calculate the average speed when the helicopter is flying. Okay, so we have to find the average speed. So first of all, we should know the relation for the average speed. Average speed is total distance divided by total time. But in this question, we have a condition that we have to find average speed when it is flying. Actually, we know that the total duration is 4 hours, and from which 30 minutes it was resting. So 30 minutes is 0.5 hour. Okay, so total flying time is equals to 4 hours minus 0.5 hour. Okay, we have to subtract that resting time from it, so it will give you 3.5 hour. So total distance will be, total distance we need to find, it's 10, sorry, it's 100 plus 50 plus 30 plus 70, that will give you 250 kilometer. So average speed will be 250 divided by 3.5. So if you divide 250 by 3.5, you get 71.4. It's option D. Question number 4. A man claps in a forest. There is nobody around to hear the sound. However, there is a very flat cliff face some distance away, and the man hear an echo from the clap 0.84 seconds later. The speed of sound in air is 343. How far away was the man from the cliff? Okay, so we have a speed of sound, that is 343 meter per second. We have a time taken by sound, that is equals to 0.84 seconds. Okay, so to find the distance traveled by the sound, distance travel by sound will be, distance is equals to speed multiplied by time. So that will be 343 multiplied by 0.84. So if you multiply 343 with 343 multiplied by 0.84, it will give you 288.12. Okay, this is our distance traveled by the sound waves. What we need how far away was a man from the cliff. So let's suppose if there is a man standing and there is some cliff at that point, and if the sound is produced from that point, it will travel toward the cliff and it will strike and it will bounce back. So that was the distance by the sound waves. What we need a one-way distance. Okay, we need one-way distance, and the sound traveled twice the distance of that one. So what we have to do, we have to divide this distance traveled by the sound by the 2. Okay, so separation will be 288.12 divided by 2, that will give you 144 meters. It's option C. Question 5, they are asking you, the graph shows the speed time graph of a cyclist who is moving in a straight line. What is the acceleration of the cyclist at a time of 20 seconds? So at 20 seconds we have to find the acceleration. So basically it's a speed time graph, and we know that slope of speed time graph gives you acceleration. So we have to look for the 20 seconds. So if you look at the 20 second, the graph is at this point. So this is approximately a horizontal straight line. So acceleration will be at that point, a will be 0. So it's option C.